first interview.
Wow, I feel so privileged. Thank you.
You were the first person that came to mind. So I want to introduce you to everybody. This is my good friend, Nesto, Tatunay.
That's right on the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
sound
people
like Filipino.
people kind of mess up my name too. So I want to get it right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. It's a beautiful weekend. We did our walk this morning. It was hot. We came in, we rested. Now we're ready to go.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I am very, very honored that you accepted my invitation and that you're here with me today. So I know you know a little bit about the collective and that I talk with people that have come through some type of trauma. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that I work with are either considering entrepreneurship, just starting out in being an entrepreneur, or they have been in it for a little bit of time. So, and I know that you kind of fall in that category there. So yes. I want to get a little bit of information from you. And let's start with my first question. I'm going to read some of my questions off to you. And can you share how your experience with trauma may have influenced your decision to become an entrepreneur?
It had a lot to do with it. And the reason why is because I was stuck in a 25-year marriage. And I felt that being in that marriage, I was never actually able to be who I truly wanted to be. And once I ended that relationship, it really drove me to move towards self-improvement. And in doing that, I had to really push myself out of my comfort zone. And so what I did was I started my own business. I happened to meet the right people. I got involved with a great company that really focuses on entrepreneurial education. I started my business right out the gate, excited and about the new opportunity and to move forward. And since then, I've actually opened or combined my business with another business, and now I went from Kingfinity Digital Marketing to now I'm at Great King, and we've been doing it now for about a year, and it's been absolutely awesome. So for me, whenever I have tough times, it really drives me to push harder to create a new environment for myself, something new, something that I can look forward to, and just go out there and make a difference. And so that's what this has done for me. So awesome. It was a great tool that I used to accomplish that.
Perfect. That's perfect. It definitely expands your horizons and takes you from a situation that may not have been good and makes something all your own at this point.
That's correct.
Awesome. Okay. In what ways do you think your experience with trauma has shaped your approach to entrepreneurship? And I know you touched on it just a little bit.
Right. Well, I believe for me, my trauma actually helped me by actually pushing me forward, helping me to drive harder, but also having the mindset to look for something else that's out there for me. Because you get stuck in situations and you feel like, this doesn't feel right to me. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. There were so many times when I sat there and I realized, I don't feel this sense of purpose or meaning in my life, that I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so with starting this new business and becoming an entrepreneur, that really helped me focus my efforts on being able to move forward and accomplish that. And it's been really, now that I am where I'm at, I'm helping people. I have this credo that when I wake up every morning, the first thing I say is, my job today is to have an impact, a positive impact on at least one person today, whether it's just a smile or a hello or any advice that I can give them, anything that I can help just one person. make their day better, or maybe help them to see the that light at the end of the tunnel, something that gives them hope. Because a lot of times when we're in bad situations, we feel like we don't have any hope. And this is what really, really springboarded me, into where I'm at today. I mean, my whole life has changed from now to a year ago where I felt hopeless. Now I'm full of hope, and I'm looking to go out there and help other people have hope on a daily basis. So that fulfills my need for meaning and purpose. And so that's something I really, really love doing, and that really helps me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that. I love that. So many times I've found people that have come through some sort of trauma, they lose hope. They
Yes.
lose themselves. And
Yes.
and you're so right. Just smiling at somebody sometimes can really make a huge, huge difference. So I
Right.
love that you're incorporating that every single day, because it not only helps yourself, but you don't know. It could be a complete stranger. You don't know what they're going through, and it
Right.
could be what they need to put them on the right path.
That's exactly right. You don't know how many times I've done this where I just happen to see a stranger, and I tell them hello and ask them how their day is. And just by that one question, by somebody else actually finding interest in what they're doing, you could just see their face light up. They're like, whoa, this is so unexpected. Excuse me. But it's such a great feeling, knowing that, I don't know what this person is going through, but the fact that I smiled at them, I asked them hello, asked them how they were doing, even something as small as that can make total impact on somebody's day, whether it be good or bad, and I would rather take the chance of saying, hello to somebody and smiling at them, and then having the opportunity to go out and make the rest of their day better. Maybe they may even be so happy that they help somebody else. So then it's amplified. My simple kindness is amplified. And if it does 1, 2, 3, 10 times, then I've fulfilled my mission for that day, and really it's when you look and you think about the impact that you may have on one person, but what about when that person does the same thing for all the other people in their lives? So maybe they go home, and usually when they come home and they're in a bad mood, and maybe they take it on their kids or the significant other. But if they're in a good mood, they go home and they're happy to see their kids, and they're happy to see their significant other.
Yep.
I've just made the difference. And it's just a simple kindness.
Yep. You're paying it forward, and that's
Right.
Fabulous.
That's
That's
right.
fabulous. So my next question would be, how has your resilience, and again, you've touched on this a little bit too, so maybe expand upon it. How has your resilience and ability to overcome adversity developed through your trauma experience, played a role in your journey?
Well, I think that I know that because of my ability to have hope again, my resilience is directly tied to me saying, you know what, I'm never going to quit because I have a mission. And I'll always wake up every morning, give my gratitudes, promise to impact somebody's life on a daily basis, work on my business, love my family and friends, and just keep moving forward. Because when you're a positive person and you have a positive outlook and you're vibrating at a higher level, good things just naturally happen to you. And I've experienced that firsthand. Whether it's I'm just walking and somebody will stop me and talk to me for no apparent reason other than they feel like I need to be talked to. It's like it goes both ways, right? Because what I do to other people, sometimes they do it to me. But it just feels like whenever you are like that, when you vibrate and you're positive and you go out there and you have the intention of helping other people, they see that. And then they start to do the same. They may come up to me and just start talking to me. And that's great. Because I love people. I love interacting with people. I love knowing what people are about. And if I can do anything to help them in their day or in their life, then that resilience, that hope makes it all worthwhile.
That's awesome. And this is I'm going to expand upon that a little, because I've been watching how you're responding, and I love that you consciously self-correct. That is so important. And I have seen that in a lot of people that have come through some sort of trauma.
Right.
they become you become more aware of yourself.
Right.
You drop from your head into your heart, and you know now what you want, and you're consciously rejecting societal negatives that have been
Yeah.
conditioned into people. So
That's
I
right.
love the fact that you're self-correcting. I think that's fabulous.
Thank you. You know,
And this
a
is going
big
to kind of,
thing. I'm sorry. I just
no,
wanted
no,
to
go
add
ahead.
one more thing. Is another thing about that resilience comes your strength of mindset. Because when you are in a position of improving yourself, one of the first things that you have to do is you have to refine or completely change your mindset. All the negative things that come in your life, everybody has things that are disruptions in their lives, but it's how you handle it, how you get up from after being knocked down or having a bad day. You know, what do? You have to, find it in yourself to have that mindset to be like, you know what, whatever happened negative to me today, there's always going to be silver lining. There's always a purpose for it, right? And before, if you would ask me 2, 3 years ago, I would have been like, you know, I'm just having a bad day, and I'll get over it eventually. Now I'm like, you know what? Okay, had a bad day. Let's move on to the next, because my mindset is strong. I have a mission. I have goals, and I can't afford for the negativity to be stuck anywhere around me. So I surround myself with positive people because I'm a positive person, and I do my best to keep things that are negative, at arm's length. And so it's just a way for me to continually on a daily basis keep vibrating at a higher level.
I love it. So that kind of answers my next question. I wanted you to talk about any specific skills or strengths that you've developed as a result of your experiences, and how it has been beneficial in your business. And you've gone on that. So have you noticed that this positivity has flown into your business? And what have you seen coming out of perhaps clients?
Absolutely. I think I know that when clients see that you're positive, they trust you more because they're the type of person that they want to do business with, because they trust you. They feel like this person really has it together. They're not negative. They want all their mission is to help me to be more successful.
You
And
become the authority, and they look
that's
up
right.
to that.
Exactly. Because why you wouldn't want to go up to a negative person and say, "Hey, can you help me?" Thinking that no, they might say, "You know what? I really don't want to." If a positive client comes up to me and they have problems or they have issues or they need help, of course, I'm going to do anything in my power to help them and help them succeed, or you know, help them fulfill their dreams, because that's my purpose. That's my meaning. It's not just personal, but it's also professional. So in all aspects of my life, that's what I'm doing. And another thing, one thing that I realized after I came out of that long relationship, when I went to this conference called Insight. And basically what that this conference does is it helps you to it's like 5 years of therapy in one weekend. But one thing that really I got out of it was I realized who I was. I realized that I'm a connector. I'm that person that helps connect good people to other good people. And that's and then we build around that. We have our own little community at Grit and King, because what we've done is people that we've met along the way, people that have been clients or friends or other people that attended the same conference together, we made a pact that no matter what, we're going to stay together. We're going to help each other just like we're family. Because one thing entrepreneurs have to understand is you can't do everything on your own. You need help. You need other people that are like-minded as you are, and you need to stay together, and you need to help pick each other up when you're down or fill in the gaps, to help you overcome your weaknesses. And that's what we've done over the last year, and it's been fantastic.
And I think too, you mentioned earlier, you start vibrating at a different level, and
Right.
you went to this conference and you met like-minded people that you would not have met before if they weren't at that same level.
That's right.
So it feels to me like that's why you have such a cohesive network now. And even if they're not clients, but they're friends, you can call on them and say, hey, what are your experiences, and go from there. So I love that you're building on all of these things throughout this
Absolutely.
past year of coming up.
That's right.
So I love it. Okay, let's see. Have you found any unique opportunities or niches in the business world that are related to your trauma experience? If so, could you share some examples?
That's a very good question. I think that when you talk about finding a specific niche based on trauma, I think that in itself is something that is kind of difficult to answer to me, because when you become an entrepreneur, you're trying to find a specific niche. You try to find something that you can do that's based on your strengths and goes away from your weaknesses. But for me, I know that whatever clients that we get, whatever friends that we bring along the way to add to our collective, I think that basically what I'm saying is, when you have, based on the experiences that I have, creating this collective of unique individuals, right? And getting them to be a part of this and supporting each other unconditionally. To me, that's hard to find. That's really hard to do, because you have all these different people with all these different personalities, different needs, different strengths and weaknesses. But when you have that collective with those type of people that all understand that we're a family, and no matter what happens, we're always going to stick together no matter what. To me, that's unique in itself. And if I hadn't gone through my trauma and I hadn't realized that I didn't want that anymore, I would have never been able to do this. I coming from that conference, I'm actually the one that put the collective together. I started it. I told these people, listen, I've told you things that I've never told anybody ever. So you have the inside scoop on Nesto. And because this conference is the way it is, we share things where we become vulnerable, and people, there's no judgment. It's all love. And I didn't want that to stop there. I wanted that to continue to keep going. And I promised these people, we're going to keep this together. We're going to keep working together, and I'm going to help you however I can. And a year later, almost to the day, actually it's a year and a couple of days it's been, we're still having weekly meetings, getting updates on businesses, helping each other out, referring great books that will help with your mindset, and having different discussions. Every week somebody has a different discussion as far as what's helping them in their business, or something motivational, things like that. Just keep our mindset and our collective strong. So that in itself, to me, is a unique experience that I have based on my trauma and what I've come through so far to where I'm at now.
I love it. I love it. And that actually sounds like a pretty tight niche in and of itself.
It is.
Because there's a lot of people that could go through these very similar experiences coming from a conference like that, but still not see how it can impact them and have this connection with people that you meet there. And if you're that vulnerable with somebody, absolutely. And having no judgment, probably, as someone who's come through trauma, was probably the first time, or one of the first times, that that's ever happened.
Yeah.
So that creates a bigger bond as well.
Yes. And I had specifically told them, listen, what we have here at Insight, as we leave, we cannot let this connection go. We have to maintain it, because we've put so much work into that one weekend by really bringing out all that stuff that we had that we're holding back inside of us, that's keeping us down, and we let it go. We left it at the conference. And when you do that, you create this, it's almost like you create this new slate, this brand new slate. And because we were all like-minded, and I even told him, you don't understand, this is divine timing. We were supposed to meet this weekend. We were supposed to continue to move forward together. And because we all sat down and we all believed it and we all started with this clean slate together, it's really, really been beneficial to all of our businesses. And I'm just so excited and so happy about it, as you could probably tell. So
it sounds like you came out of that as you went in as Nesto, Tatunay, and you came out as Nesto 2.0.
Yeah, there you go. That's
well, look at that.
Yes,
I just came up with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think we need to brand that for you.
No, okay. Nesto 2.0. Okay, got it. I'll make sure I write that down. Nesto.
Okay. Let's see. My next one, and this is something that a lot of people with trauma do struggle with. So how do you navigate the challenges and triggers that may arise in the business world?
That is an excellent question. You know, I have I'm very fortunate because my significant other now also went through Insight with me, and so she's also someone that has been, blessed with a clean slate. But one thing about her is that whenever I have these triggers from trauma, she's able to help me get through them, because when I talk to her and I'm a very emotional person, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. It's just the way I've always been. But whenever I feel like I'm being triggered by, my narcissistic ex-wife or my narcissistic boss at work or whatever, anything, she really allows me to open up and give it to her, and she doesn't judge me. All she does is she talks me through it. She makes me feel good about myself, saying, look, one thing that I used to do was I always used to hold everything inside, because I felt as a strong man that's what we were supposed to do. I was just supposed to deal with it internally. I don't do that anymore. Or if I do it for a very short time, and then I figure out a way to let it go. Because those triggers, sometimes they're so powerful that it's so hard to overcome. It's like being knocked down by a tidal wave, and you got to figure out how to get out of there. And because my significant other allows me the freedom to just open myself up to her and talk about these things openly without judgment, that to me is, that has really kept me afloat. That's helped me to continue to improve and strengthen my mindset. It's humbled me, but at the same time, instead of dwelling on it and those negative feelings, I move forward, and I can say honestly that I can find my happy place again. Whereas before I couldn't do that.
I love that. And it sounds like that, if you get a client and they end up triggering you in some way, you have the ability now to talk to somebody.
Yes.
To work through that.
Yes.
And, if you have to take a step back for a moment, you have a partner, you have you twofold. You have someone that you can release to in a non-judgmental way, and you have a partner that can step in and say, okay, I can take this part of this client until we can work through those triggers more.
That's
so
right.
It sounds like you have, a pretty well-rounded, that's fabulous. I really applaud that.
Yeah, thank you. And our company is Grit and King. She's Grit, I'm King, and we help each other out. It's been a fantastic journey, and I can't wait for the years that just to continue to move forward and all the years to come with it. So
I love it. Okay, let's see here. Some of these we've touched on, so I'm going to skip over a couple of them. Have you found that being open about your experience has had an impact on your business or the way customers or clients perceive you?
Absolutely. And the reason why is because I'm open and transparent, they see the type of person that I am. And it makes them comfortable to do business with us. You know, I pride myself on being an honest person. And I pride myself on letting the clients know I can help you and I'll do everything I can to make sure that your business grows and thrives and, you know, you become more successful. And, I'm not there to you know, just do the work. I'm there to grow with those clients and grow with their companies and help them get better. To me, it's a team effort. You know, we're all about, Grit and King is all about helping you build together, not just you, but all of us together. And, you know, we've actually, we've had clients before that we actually provided services for them, but because we are who we are and we really care about our clients, we've actually brought them into our collective and they've become part of the family. So we continue to work together and benefit from each other and support each other. And to me, when you can do that with clients who become your friends and business mentors or whatever the case may be, you know, if we can all be successful together, the more the merrier, in my opinion. And that's what we do, because we come at you with honesty. We come at you with the true sense of us having the purpose to help you grow and thrive as a company.
I love that. And, you know, you said that you bring people in. It sounds like then, you know, it's definitely a win-win situation because you took them on as clients because you saw something in them. And then you realized, wow, you know, maybe we can both benefit even more from each other in a collective situation. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love it.
And I really like the comment that you made there, win-win, because that's really what it's all about, you know. And if we can move forward with our clients, you know, inside the collective, you know, it's a beautiful thing, because, you know, we don't, you know, we have what our ideal clients are, right? We have certain clients that we really feel can benefit the most from what we do. You know, but there's specific clients that you just know that when we bring them on, they're going to become part of the family. And not to say that we would exclude anybody, but it's just like when you meet anybody, you connect with some people you can have a relationship and not necessarily, you know, have it more than just a professional relationship. But with Grit and King, we make sure that we, you know, when we take on clients, we make sure that they're right for us and that we're right for them before we move forward. And
there's definitely a professional chemistry going on.
That's right. And we just want to ensure that our relationship with these clients isn't just going to be for 3 months or 6 months. We want long-term relationships with our clients. Right. And that's the bottom line.
I was watching something the other day, and it was about, you know, personal relationships, but the woman was talking about, you know, how a lot of people think when you're in a relationship, it's 50-50. And she said that it absolutely is not. And I can see this in personal and professional relationships. I don't believe, me personally, that any relationship is ever 50-50, because partners, business partners, and romantic partners, or even in family situations, there's going to be days where someone is having a bad day or coming through some trauma. You've been triggered. So you're not going to be able to give everything that day. You might only be able to give that 20% that day, but you're building up people around you that can pick up the 80%. And then you can switch it, and they may be having a bad day. So that's kind of what I'm hearing from you with this collective is everybody's there to give 100%, but there's going to be days that they can't, and you'll pick it up for them. And then when you're having a bad day, they'll come and pick it up for you. So that's beautiful.
You hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly why we have the collective, because like I said, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we're always there for each other. and we do exactly what you just described. Whether it's by a phone call, Zoom, whatever, we're there for each other. It doesn't matter if they're in California or New York, or Florida. It doesn't matter. We're family, we're collective, and we stay together and we help each other out. And you're right.
I love it.
We make sure we pick each other up when others are down. We always do that. That's what we do.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. Are there any lessons or insights that you've gained from your trauma that you can apply to problem solving or decision making?
Good question. Yes. So when you have, we kind of touched on this earlier. Whenever you have clients that, we'll just say they're not your ideal clients, maybe it doesn't work out. Not every single client you have is going to work out. Okay. If you happen to lose clients, then, it's hard not to take it personally. Things could be said, whatever, for whatever reason, didn't work out. You can't take those things personally. I used to, in my previous traumas, I would take everything personally. But because I've grown so much with my mindset and I've accepted who I am, and I've accepted of, what my mission and what my purpose is moving forward. I've come to realize that, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Grit King's not always going to be everybody's cup of tea, but those who are, we're going to 110% be there for them through thick and thin to make sure that we get there. We help them reach their goals and then some, and we'll always continue to build that relationship for long term. So yes, it's for me that just helping people build their mindset because of how much I've grown, and knowing that no matter what happens, that, things, negative things that happen, we won't take it personal. I won't take it personal. We just move forward and be the best we can be.
And it sounds too like, I think it's an unrealistic goal to think that you're going to go into business as an entrepreneur and every single client you bring on is going to remain a client. I think that that's just very unrealistic.
That's right.
And, you've mentioned that you dealt with narcissism for a long period of time. And as you know, a lot of narcissists cover up the fact that they're narcissists, but the mask typically comes off in a very short period of time. So yes, narcissists do have the ability to appear very congenial, they're charming, and you can take someone on like that as a client. And then as they go down the road, you realize, oh, hey, you know what, this may not be the best fit. So you have learned and grown, it sounds like, enough that you can separate that. You're not going to take things like that personally anymore. And you're okay with letting those clients go and letting them find someone that they can use their charms on. So we say you don't have to be subjected to that.
Right. Well, even though I may not be, or we may not be the best fit for them, maybe they could find somebody else that is,
Exactly.
And we would prefer that they find them, so that they would have a better experience, and same for us. We would prefer that we find people that fit more, of that, the characteristics of our ideal clients.
Perfect. I love that. How do you balance the demands of running a business with self-care and prioritizing your own well-being?
That is an excellent question, and it's so hard being an entrepreneur and the whole self-care thing, making sure that you don't overwork and cause burnout. So this is an issue that my partner and I both, with Grit King, we sometimes struggle with, because unfortunately we're both workaholics. Once we have projects, we dive into them, and before we realize it, we've been putting in 14-hour days, 16-hour days, and it's dinner time. We need to stop and take a break. But there is a fine balance, And, one thing that we started doing is we started walking every single morning. And that as soon as we wake up, we go and we walk 2-3 miles. And that right there, starting your day off like that, it does wonders for your mindset for the rest of the day. And then we get to work. Even on the weekends, we get to work. We work for a few hours. We take a break. We go to the pool. Just a lot of little things that, sometimes we just stop and we go have a great dinner together, and we celebrate what we've accomplished. And we talk about what this is something that is really near and dear to my heart. Is we talk about our goals moving forward together all the time, and the places that we want to go. So it gives us things to look forward to. And although, sometimes it's a struggle. I mean, being an entrepreneur is hard. When you come across those tough times, there's a tendency for everybody to naturally just drive harder. And when you do that, you burn out. And then you sit back and you ask yourself, what am I, I'm putting in all this work. Sometimes I feel I've hit a wall, but that's where it comes down to mindset. You have to know that the reason why you hit the wall is because you're continuing to move forward. And maybe you need to just change something up just a little bit to get you past that wall. Or you just need, you need to take a break and step back for a moment. And you need to just kind of look at the situation from the outside looking in, just a more broader perspective of things. Because when you're in it constantly, it's easy to get stuck and it's hard to figure out how to get out of it, And again, with the collective, we talk about these things. We talk about making sure that you take care of yourself. And we have a weekly call just to make sure everybody's good. And we make sure that if there's anything that they're struggling in, all of us, or whoever has the specific skill set for certain things, whether it's building funnels or doing email campaigns or social media, whatever they're having trouble with, sometimes all it takes is just somebody else's perspective to kind of snap you back in and realize, you know what, I hit the ball. Now I know what I need to do. Or you know what, or even more than that, just encouragement, saying, hey, you know what, we all hit the wall. That's a part of the life of being an entrepreneur. But when you have the collective and you have a collective mindset, you know that whenever you hit that wall, you have the support to help you get past it. You're not alone, because a lot of entrepreneurs feel like, I'm stuck because I'm alone and I don't know what else to do. I don't know who else I can call. And that's a difficult situation to get out of. And that's the reason why our collective is so beneficial for all of us. And that's why, more than a year, we've continued to be successful. We're continuing to grow, and we're continuing to add more and more members, because they see this collective for what it is, and they want to be part of that because it's special. And we all are all there for each other. And it's just amazing.
I love it. And I'm, as you're talking, I'm having like all these flashes in my mind of everything that I've read. Andrew Carnegie, he had a mastermind that sounds a lot like your collective. He brought people in and they met, and, he started out, he was an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. He came to the America with, I think, 13 cents in his pocket from Scotland. Yeah. I mean, and look at what he built.
That's right.
And it wasn't easy, but he found that by building this mastermind, a collective of people, he was able to get through it. And all of those people were also able to build amazing businesses also. And they were all entrepreneurs in a time when there was no technology like we have today. So, and I've read several of their biographies, and they talked about how difficult it was and how hard it was for their families and themselves. They didn't have the time or space to care for themselves. And in those times, healthcare wasn't what it is today. So if they didn't take the time for self-care, they were going to actually be sick, and it could jeopardize their life. So I think that's what transitions now. And I think you've pointed that out with having this collective. You're able to talk to somebody that'll give you that downtime so that you say, hey, you know what, if I keep going at 110 miles an hour, I'm going to hit that wall, and then I'll never be able to get to that next step because I'm going to just be completely burnt out. So I think that's great. You have that ability. Yeah. So, and I have, through my collective, I talk about self-care all the time. So feel free to ask me any questions. I have lots of ideas for self-care.
Okay. So also to build on kind of what you were saying, there's a saying that goes, your success is determined by the 5 people that you are closest with, right?
Yes.
Or your best 5 friends, right? And with this collective, because we're like-minded, I mean, we all, I think Grit and King, Marissa and I, what we've tried to do is we've tried to lead the way and then allow the rest of the collective to come in and based on our trial experiences, whether it's successes, failures, or whatever, we relay all that stuff to our collective so that they can learn from our mistakes. So we pave that way for them. And anything that we can do to help them avoid those mistakes and become more successful faster, that's really, I mean, that's what it's all about. And so we try to be, we try to find the newest information out there, the AI, all the technology that's constantly changing, or what Meta is, their new algorithms or whatever. We try to stay ahead of all that so that we can help the other people in the collective be aware of it as well, so they don't make those same types of mistakes. And their growth path is a lot faster instead of having to go through all that stuff themselves. So, yeah. And so that, and as far as being, helping other people in the collective with self-care, a lot of times, we'll get calls from somebody else in the collective and they're so frustrated they can't even look at what they're doing anymore. And we'll take that on and I'll say, you know what, just relax. Let us take a look at this and let's see what we can find, and we'll get back to you, and then we'll come back to it and we'll discuss it again. Maybe when you've cleared your mind or whatever, and we'll do it together. And to me, that is a huge part of self-care, because not only do they feel like they're not alone, but they can sit back there and they can, while somebody else as a part of the collective is working on what their issues are, this person can kind of get their mind right again, right? Take care of themselves and not stress about it. And then when we get back together, work together with a clearer mind, and we get past that wall. I mean, that to me is ultimate self-care, because you have somebody else that's going to help you no matter what. Right. And even if you don't necessarily find the answer right away, as long as you stay together and you keep working together, you'll find it together,
Right. And that kind of plays into my next question to you. I was going to ask if you could share any success stories or moments of triumph that has happened as an entrepreneur, and that you kind of like touched with the self-care and being able to help other people in your collective and even your clients. That is like kind of plays into that a little bit, but I'll let you expand on that.
Let's see. There's been a lot. There's been a lot. Let's see. Well, so we have this client that we brought on. She was starting a coaching business, and she had gone to Insight and done all this. She was part of that entire conference, and she came out feeling much better about herself. She had reached new levels of mindset coming out of there and had a new purpose. And I think with what Grit and King did, we took her in and we helped her become so much more confident than she was when we first met her. When we first met her, she was, kind of stuck, kind of trying to figure herself out. And we talked her through it. We said, it's okay. We've got you. And we know that you were going to be awesome because your personality and the way you are and your drive and your determination, you've got that. You've got that mindset. Let us help you grow that. And her business and the process of her building it has been wonderful to watch. And her social media posts, her lives, all of the things that she's posting on social media, she's a completely different person. So much more confident in herself, so much more confident doing, different types of, content on Instagram, Facebook Lives, soon TikToks, things like that. But if you would have asked her 6, 7, 8 months ago, there would have been no way. And just to see her now as compared to where she was 6 to 8 months ago, completely different. And she's become an integral part of the collective. And that to me is one of my, just the things that for me, feels like an absolute success and accomplishment for us, because of just how much she's grown with our help and how much she's also taught us based on what she does for her business, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know about what she does. And she's really helped me through that, because it helps me with my personal journey as well.
That's awesome. I'm sure that she's very grateful for all of your assistance, and she's definitely lucked out finding you.
Thank you.
I'm very happy. So I have just 2 more quick questions for you.
Okay.
What advice or words of encouragement would you give to other survivors who may be considering starting their own business?
Number 1 is you are good enough. It doesn't matter whatever situation you come out of. One of the hardest things to realize is that you're good enough and that you can do it. You can become a successful entrepreneur. And your biggest enemy as a person, or your biggest obstacle, is yourself. You not feeling like you have what it takes, or you not having the proper mindset, whatever the case may be. You have, as long as you really want something, as long as you have a purpose, or if you have in your mind your why, like why do you want to start a business, and you have that true purpose, then you've gone further than most people that have dreamed about becoming entrepreneurs but never did, because they're always scared to take that step. If you can figure out your why and who the people you want to help, then you've already taken the first steps that you need to become successful. And from there, it's just building on that. Like for me, when I first started my business, my why was I wanted to become an entrepreneur because I wanted to help divorced dads live in their truth and help them find more time to spend time with their kids, because divorces are tough, and it affects the kids. I've been when I was younger, my parents got divorced, and I've been through many broken family situations, and I could have easily just like, you know what, I give up. I'm gonna settle, and this will just be my life. But no, I don't. I realized, based on my trauma, that what, this may have served me for the last 25 years, but I want more. I need something more. I need a purpose. And for me, I need to go help other people with their businesses, motivating them, and to let them know that regardless of where you're at, there's always hope as long as you have a why. As long as you have a reason to want to improve your life, then you're halfway there, and you just got to build on it.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. And finally, do you envision your entrepreneurial journey continuing to intersect with and be influenced by your experiences as a trauma survivor?
Yes, absolutely. Because
it's part of you.
Yes, it is. It's about, I said it earlier, when you get knocked down, you have a choice. Either you stay down or you get back up and you keep moving forward. And for me, I've always hated settling. It's not in my DNA. I have to constantly be looking for something to better my life so that I can better the people's lives around me, right? Whether it's my family, my kids, this collective, all right? I'll do everything I can to make sure that I'm successful, but more importantly, everybody that is involved with me and everybody that works with me and helps me. And I want to make sure everybody's successful. And, honestly, I don't think I would have been here in the first place if I didn't go through all of that. It's divine timing. It's, everything happens for a reason. And
that's my number one saying. I'm so glad you said that. I live by that.
It's like me meeting these people at this conference, divine timing. Me meeting Marissa, the other half of Great and King, divine timing. Me meeting all these people that weren't part of the collective at first, but then we brought them all in. It's all divine timing. It's all supposed to happen like this. I manifested it from the day that I started, the day I made up my mind and said, you know what? This is what I want to do. I'm no longer going to settle being in this bad relationship where I feel like crap all the time because I feel like I'm not good enough. No matter what I do, I just can't, I just can't make it work. I can't make it right. And I'm a fixer. I always want to make things right. And in that relationship, it didn't matter what I did. I just couldn't do that. And so I had to change my outlook. And the only way I could do that is if I moved forward, kicked out of my comfort zone and did something that scared me to death. But it was new. It was exciting. And I knew that if I just put all my efforts into it, that I would be successful. And you know what? Like I said, if it wasn't for all that, I wouldn't be here. And I'm glad, even though all that stuff, all that trauma that I went through before was really difficult, I'm glad it happened because, it makes me, like you said, it makes me who I am now. Because, between point A and point B, all right, the most joyous part of all that is what's in between point A and point B, the journey. Because in all that you go through, you realize the highs and the lows, but you know what? Whenever you have those highs, they're so much better. They're so much more fulfilling because you know that, man, when I started 6-8 months ago and I was lost, and from 8 months later to, having lives or doing great on Facebook and just finding that authentic person that the world wants you to see, it makes it all worthwhile. So,
well, I am just thrilled that I've had this opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. And I am definitely going to think of you now as Nesto 2.0. I think that's just going to be the tagline.
I like it.
So I really, really appreciate your taking the time today to talk with me and bringing me in a little bit and filling in the story for me.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I feel absolutely privileged to be your first guest, and I can't wait to see more of you. And I hope we have more talks to come.
I definitely envision more to come.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, you know where to find me, so call me anytime.
I do. All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks. Have a great day.
All right. You too.
All right.
Whew. All right.
Now, do we end the recording? What do we do?
Hold on.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, hold on a second.
And then end
End recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to do it again.